the hairdresser, the barber shop, the drugstore, just actually making sure we reach people where they are and preserving dignity and respect in the process, whether it's with regard to cultural, racial, ethnic, economic, the whole mix of the person.
Great question. Anyone on the panel want to respond to that?
I think specifically, as I referenced earlier, and I agree with it, that there's a lot of difficulty that does face urban communities. Again, my thought is to have a vehicle that is accessible and available to urban communities because of the weight that they bear each day just to survive. Specifically, I know with the PICO network, we have been doing the door-to-door, but we've also been going to, in our churches, we've been going in other areas of the community that have not been reached and not touched, not the just traditional vehicles or maybe of our school system, but that's a large point of access. But we've been trying to make sure that, because PICO is a faith-based grassroots network, that we go the door-to-door process and touch those places that have not been touched, that people won't go to in our urban communities. In the city of Camden, for instance, we have high-rises where there are people who have their children in, and some of them are very dangerous. So people won't go into that type of place. But we have, through our local organizing committees, we form committees and we'll go and enroll kids. We'll go talk to them, places where people won't go. So that's a big problem that affects urban communities, and I think a lot of our children are sitting in that pool where people won't necessarily go out and touch and reach them. So it's really our door-to-door effort that has to go in those type of areas, I think.
Peter?
As I indicated, United Way, funds community-based organizations where a lot of people come, whether it's out-of-school time programs or community health programs or schools. And so that's, I think, the access point that we're looking toward, where we also work with our national partners. Similar to NCLR, we've got the Boys and Girls Clubs, Big Sister, Big Brother, Big Sister. All are potential ways to reach folks where they are and do that. And I think, this notion of housing, people, live somewhere, they get paid somewhere usually, they pray somewhere, and so in many respects we've got to look at those places in terms of meeting people where they are and what are the easy ways to get to them. And so it's part of that partnership, which I think is critical. And obviously with the Secretary's leadership, that's the partnership that's being built today, and that's where we're going forward.
The timeline has already begun.